Look, this final addition that the Chicago Bears have made, it just changed everything because not only is this offense stacked now, it's able to go into training camp in its entirety. And I think this mystery soft tissue injury that we've all been hearing about, I think it's now a thing of the past. I think it might have been a wallet, but I don't know that for sure. But you've got rookies and quarterbacks set to arrive at Chicago Bears training camp today. And it was looking for like much of the week that we weren't going to get our second round pick signed. So I'm going to talk specifically about Luther Burden, his recent contract and his fit with the Chicago Bears. But I also want to turn a couple things on its head. So many reports on kind of assassinating his character as far as his attitude problem, they're saying, plus his production concerns from his final year at Missouri. All of this in this video. But first, let's talk about this contract, right? So we're looking at on Friday morning, as fellow second-round picks Ozzie Trapillo and Shamar Turner had signed their deals. Burden still hadn't signed, but at the 11th hour, the former All-SEC wideout from Missouri and the Bears, they reached an agreement on a 4-year, $10.9 million deal, and it's completely guaranteed. And guess what? It makes some history. It's the first time a 39th pick overall in the NFL draft has received fully guaranteed money. So congratulations to him. Congratulations to his family. And let's get into this. I want to get directly to the perceived attitude problems of this player and his production concerns entering his first season with the Chicago Bears. And I think instead of listening to talking heads, guys that are trying to get clicks, let's talk to a guy that actually knows the player. And this is the guy I want to talk about is Jacob Peeler. He's the Missouri wide receivers coach, and he took the receivers coach job at Missouri on January 2022. That was the same month that Luther Burden arrived, and he coached Burden through his whole college career. So if he's going to talk about this issue, or potentially not an issue, this is a guy to talk about. So Peeler, he actually attributed Burden's drop in production in 2024 to multiple things. The thing is, let's be honest, he wouldn't admit this, but their offense was kind of a train wreck. They had some issues and not a lot of talent around him, and opponents made a concerted effort to stop him after his 1,200-yard season. He was getting doubled, but also, that's just an excuse, but also quarterback Brady Cook. He was dealing with a wrist injury, and this wrist injury affected his throwing motion throughout the second half of the season. So kind of take these things into account when you're talking about his production his final year. What I want to talk about is people were talking he had an attitude problem. Peeler completely disagrees. This is straight from Peeler. The one thing I was impressed with Burden, he never let it get to him. After this 1,200-yard season and this lackluster last year, he never got frustrated to the point where it was ever a detriment. I'll repeat that. He never got frustrated to the point where it was ever a detriment to the team. Most receivers either always want the ball or otherwise they're playing the wrong position, but he was a great teammate. Never once got frustrated to the point that I even saw it. And then he goes further in the belief that Burden's familiarity with man coverage in the SEC, not a tough division to play in, that's going to help make him have a quick transition to the NFL. A little more about Peeler and why we should listen to what he has to say. This is a guy who was the receivers coach at Mississippi from 2017 to 2019. Now think about this. You guys that know college ball really well, what players did he coach at Mississippi from 2017 to 2019? We're talking about a guy that was the receivers coach for DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown. But talking about Burden, he said that he's the best he ever coached in terms of creating yards after the catch. This guy is just a yak monster. He rarely allows the first defender to tackle him, Peeler says. So for a moment, let's put aside all these concerns, right? However you feel about his holdout, if you think the tissue injury, like I do, was an injured wallet, it's fine. I just think it's kind of funny to say. But no way to know that for sure. I'm sorry. But whether you think that he should have been offered a fully guaranteed contract for a second-round pick, instead, let's just enjoy this. Let's just kind of rejoice. Let's take a deep breath, because now we've got the player who's sure to become a key piece in Ben Johnson's offense. He's going to be in camp and fully ready to go when camp begins. So let's kind of talk about camp. It's just starting. Rookies and quarterbacks, they report today and really gearing up here. So rookies and quarterbacks report to Hallis Hall beginning today. The rest of the team will report to the team's Lake Forest facility on Tuesday, July 22nd. That's coming right up. And then we're looking at Chicago's going to have their first practice on Wednesday, July 23rd, closed to the public. And then the first open practice will be on Friday. Free tickets are required for entry. Stories are out that the tickets are no longer free. Apparently, they're being resold. Absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe that they allow that. But anyways, super impressive crop of rookies this year. Several who are expected to be key contributors right away. Luther Burden's one of those. I think offensive tackle Ozzie Trapillo is potentially one of those. Defensive tackle Shamar Turner is one of those in a rotation. I just absolutely love what's happening this year, because we have a potential camp battle at left tackle with two really potentially quality guys with prototypical left tackle bodies. I'm talking about Ozzie Trapillo, and I'm talking about Kiran Amagaje. And then Braxton Jones, no word on when he's going to be full bore from his injury, but we could potentially have a three-way competition for this left tackle job. And how that's so great for this team is that now you have quality depth no matter who wins. So just a really good thing to see. And let's talk about Shamar Turner. I'm laughing because, do yourself a favor, kind of watch the personal foul, watch the penalty reel on Shamar Turner. I try not to laugh. One's particularly absolutely egregious. But here's the thing. When you're building a team, in my opinion, you need like one or two guys that really play on the edge. Guys that essentially, like Shamar Turner, he plays with his hair on fire. Just so aggressive, so just wanting to destroy the man in front of him. I think that's really important to have on this team. And I think we have the coaches to kind of reel this stuff in a little bit. We don't want guys punching opposing players in the midsection in the breadbasket. Watch the highlights. You'll see what I mean. But I think they're going to be able to reel in this volatile side of him. And we're going to have a player that's uber aggressive, just plays nasty. I absolutely love the acquisition of Shamar Turner. I think you will too. Then we're looking at Ruben Hippolyte. He's going to be fighting for the number 3 linebacker spot on here. We got Zay Frazier reporting to camp. I did a story on him a couple days ago. Check it out. This is a guy that cornerbacks coach Al Harris was absolutely banging the table for. This is a guy with great size. He's huge. I think he's 6'3" or 6'4". He runs an incredibly fast 40 time. Potentially the fastest corner we've ever had on this team. And on top of that, he's versatile with the size and his ability to cover passes. He can be a safety as well. So that kind of gives us some protection against, Jaquan Brisker's injury history, his concussion history. Just a really good thing to have a versatile player like Zay Frazier. Offensive lineman Luke Newman out of Michigan State. He's going to be a quality depth piece. And then you've got running back Kyle Manungai. For one, I think the Bears have everything that they need at the running back position. You've got Ben Johnson instituting this 2-back attack. If we're still going to have something similar to what Detroit did, I think this offense is going to run from the running game as the engine, which I absolutely love as well. DeAndre Swift, he is back with familiar coaching from Ben Johnson, and I'm really excited to see Roschon Johnson. I don't think he's ever gotten a true shake at being the David Montgomery for this offense. I miss David Montgomery. That was stupid that we got rid of him. But I think I cannot wait to see what Roschon Johnson can do when given ample opportunity, when he's used properly. And also, you've got a guy like Kyle Manungai. He runs like a pinball, really runs similar to the boy in Kansas City. Absolutely another 7th-round pick. I just can't wait to see him possibly get a chance. And then you've got guys like Ian Wheeler, guys that we remember after that injury really coming on. I think this is just going to be a fantastic roster from top to bottom. I'm crazy optimistic, which you guys know from watching me, but I think it's definitely warranted. And I cannot wait for camp. And regular football that counts is under 50 days from now. You guys, let's celebrate these draft picks getting signed and camp starting. Cannot wait for the future for this franchise. We are so blessed. Bear down, and I'll continue to be here on the daily. See ya.